So, Dax, I have a question for you. You've been in this market since you were 18 years old and you just celebrated your 55th birthday. That's been a long time. And as I know you, this is all you've done. You took a small break, but even then, you were constantly consulting people on the side. You actually have your own clientele, people who you work with when you were just turning 20 and they were in their late 40s. They have reached a certain age and stage, and some of them still own their homes that you help them, get into, and we constantly meet them. But there is quite a lot of those people and other people who we may not have directly worked with are facing a challenge where they have these houses and they feel they're equity rich but cash poor, and they're constantly tormented. What should they do? How do they make it all work again for them like it did when they so excitedly bought it and put all that work? How can they go back to that life?
Well, for me, Vanya, you have to let go. You have to let go of this idea that you can own a house. That the reality is, we're just here for a period of time. And during that period of time, we can control an asset. So, of course, I want you to get the value of your home, but realize that it only is of value if you can pass it on. And what are you passing on? Do you want to pass it on as a paid off asset, or do you want to pass it on as an asset that is able to provide a service to you? And I have recognized, and this whole show we've been talking about this debt that the U.S. government has grown. I want to help people to recognize that your house is only useful as your ability to get debt from it, to use the equity to be able to generate a lifestyle or generate some freedom. I'm literally saying today I would happily tell somebody to consider a 50-year mortgage, because rates will be so low, the payment on a 50-year mortgage will be so less, it will actually allow you to afford more house as opposed to the previous position of pay off your house, be debt free, then you're going to have financial security. It's only through managing debt, and debt is the way that you get to manage. Real estate debt is a great way to manage, the taxes, the income taxes that you generate in this country. So it's a whole different strategy. If anybody out there is listening, let me help you to figure it out. Just understand that taking a loan on your home today is not necessarily the worst thing you can do if you're going to have expenses, and most people are going to have more expenses than they recognize. So understand how to leverage that equity in your house is going to be the safest thing I think you can do.
And especially if they already have expenses,
Right.
because we know a lot of people who have a lot of equity in their home. It's their pride and joy. They have a lot of things accumulated over the course of time in their home. Some are memorabilia, some are things they bought. And even when they think of, changing directions, it's always like, okay, where are we going to carry all this stuff? But here's the biggest problem. And I don't mean to, I'm talking to people who are listening, right? Most of these people are actually living off of credit card debt while they're watching the equity in their home sit and do nothing for them. The fear these people have, Dax, is if I refinance, you'll put me back into a long mortgage, or if I go into a reverse, my property will, I won't pay anything. That's great, but it'll start accumulating more on me. What do you want to tell those people?
Well, first, I'm focused on those people who have created a home that suits them. They've done all of the upgrades, all of the modifications, they've put in the storm windows, and it's paid off. Why would they consider getting a mortgage? And as you just said, because life happens, that these credit card bills have creeped up on them. And yes, they could work harder or they could do something, but no. Go ahead, the lowest cost money you're going to get, those credit cards are at much higher interest rates. Refinancing or using a reverse mortgage to get rid of that debt is smart investing. Even if you had the cash sitting in the bank, you're better off investing that cash, because today your cash is losing value. Your cash is losing value against inflation. Your home is going to see significant appreciation. You want to make sure that you're managing your home and the expenses to maintain the home as a priority. And if you need cash to do that, getting access to your home equity is sound financial planning.
Okay, and then there are people who have unfortunately reached a place where they cannot access the equity anymore. All doors have been closed in that direction. Either it is because of the age, or they're not as old to get reverse mortgage, or they have significantly high mortgage rates that you require 10, sometimes 12, sometimes even 24 months good history before you can access it, but they still have very good equity. What should they do?
So many times I've seen people who have a bad credit situation develop a bad credit lifestyle. So they start using somebody else's name to get credit for them, or buying things in other people's name. And they just say, I have a credit problem. The sooner I have seen less than 8 months, people with horrible credit reverse their credit status, get their credit score upgraded. So it's just about paying attention to your goal as opposed to, avoiding the problem. If you have a situation with the home, get rid of that home, get rid of that mortgage, restart yourself, refocus yourself. You can then get into something that suits your needs. You don't have to get stuck. Do not get stuck in that situation. Do not hold on to any type of, financial, issue that you've had in the past. Move out of that house, reposition yourself, get the debts paid up, and then go ahead and reinvest as soon as you can.
Thank you. I think you said it right in the beginning that you are about real estate, people who have real estate that actually is working for them and not against them.
Yeah. Well, and as I say, it's your mindset. If you have this idea that, my house is paid off, it's a great asset, I'm going to leave it to my kids, because there's nothing else you can do with a paid off house except to either sell it or leave it to your kids. However, getting the access to the cash in that house with a reverse mortgage where you don't have a monthly payment, and you will still, based on today's rates of appreciation, see a significant amount of equity to pass on to your kids, definitely makes sense. I don't know how I can say that any more clearly. If you're sitting out there this morning, you've heard us talking about this for the last... How long have we talking about this, Vanya?
We've been talking about it for almost last, I would say, 2 years since we, being in the business, we could see, as they say, writing on the wall. And a lot more and more people are getting in the age where they're getting retired now, or they cannot work like the way they used to. And then here's the thing. A lot of the audience and a lot of our clients have been in, as Caribbean people, we're very industrious people. So we're always doing a lot of things, sometimes more than one thing at a time. And predominantly, a lot of the people who are in this situation may not necessarily have a fat retirement account, which anyways is not good much anyways, but like they've worked all their life as nursing assistants, or people owning their own businesses, and they've done really well. They've acquired these homes, so it's not like, but now they just cannot work at that same capacity. They can't.
Right.
While they did, excuse me, they did great and acquired all these assets. And the role we have taken is to help that asset work for them then and work for them now. And there are so many people that have come and taken advantage of all these things that we're talking about.
And the only way it works is when you talk to us. That we look. I'm not telling you go get a reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage is the best thing you can get. I'm saying to you, if you don't have a sound financial plan and you own a home and you're starting to see, where, what, these payments are going up, how can I manage them? Let's talk. Maybe it's time for you to skip. Oh, by the way, Vanya, what do you think about people who have a room to rent and helping them to find tenants?
We always have our clients that have that are looking for someone to rent a room, and then those who actually have a room. So please call and register with us. We're very happy to connect the parties together. We're not looking for any commission or anything on that. This is just so that people can, obviously you have to do your due diligence to make sure you do all the checks, but this is something, too many people are calling with requirements on each side. So we want to make it kind of official so we can connect the right people with each other. So please reach out and let us know what your requirements are. Are you looking to rent a room, or you have a room that you want to rent? How much for, location and all? The phone number, guys, as always, is 954-866-2171.
All right, so send us the specifics. We're not going to take your information and broadcast it. If you say, look, I'm looking for this, we'll make a note in our database and we'll look at, other people who have said, look, we have a room to rent, this is the area. And when we see a match, we'll share it with you. We'll share it with you based on just, having an idea of the area and the cost, see if it suits your needs. Maybe we can even help to share pictures of the room, to kind of just be an intermediary. But as we said, we are here to build community. We are here to connect people with home and home ownership and with helping them with housing. And we focus on real estate and the owning and the buying and selling of real estate. But we realize that we get so much calls from tenants looking for somewhere to rent, and we have so many, people who own a home and have a room that they'd like to rent. So we feel this would be a natural fit and an easy solution for us to support. So if you have, just text us though. We cannot take all your calls with everybody looking for a place to rent. Send us a text. We'll make a note of it. We'll get back to you. We'll share the information with you that we have, and hopefully it can be a useful service. All right, let's take a quick break. We come back and we keep going with this conversation, Vanya.